Hello champions! Today I played a very long game, more than 100 moves. Again was completely winning, but with some magic again I could not win, I could not convert the advantage. I was playing against a very strong and experienced Grandmaster, Mikhalevski, and here I will show you what happened during the game, what a position I could not win. So he played knight f3, knight f6 I went, g3, so I wanted to play King's Indian, play some fighting chess, yeah, like nothing to lose, yeah, so it's like I wanted to have fun. And d4 I played c5, and here the d5 is the main line, and then I can decide where I want to go. I can go bishop g7, Benoni, I can go here even b5 immediately with very interesting position. But my opponent here played c3. And b6 is allowing this move, b6 and bishop b7 next move. Black is absolutely fine, so I will have fianchetto bishops. Usually when you develop fianchetto bishops, the problem is you are giving the center. But here I'm not giving the center, because opponent will not play e4 and his pawn is not on c4, it's on c3. Yeah, usually when you play somewhere fianchetto, like he plays e4 or knight f3, yeah, let's say, if you play b6, g6, he will just take the center. So, well, you will have two bishops, but the opponent will have center. In our case, after b6, I'm going to have fianchetto bishops, and everything is cool for me. By the way, c5 here is the right place to play, because if I play here bishop g7, bishop g2, and here c5, now opponent can play c3. And now if b6, yeah, trying again to make this fianchetto bishop, I may have problems with this diagonal. So opponent can play some knight e5, and here I should play d5, after which bishop b7, so my bishop will be closed with my own pawn on d5. So that's why after d4 here is the right place to play c5 if you want to play King's Indian with c5. So c5, c3, b6, bishop g2, bishop b7, short castle, bishop g7, so I solved the opening problems, everything is cool for me. Later I will go short castle, d6, knight d7, e5, try to fight for the center, to take some squares in the board. And here my opponent played a very dubious way. He took dc5, bc5. Usually such exchanges are good for black, because what's happening? You are changing the central pawn with b pawn, which is not good. And after dc5, bc5, yeah, there is a fight for this 4 important square in the center. And now I have c5 pawn, which is fighting for this d4 square, and white has not any pawn, which is fighting for the center. So dc5, bc5 is very dubious idea. And my opponent played here queen b3. Attacking the bishop on c8, and my problem is if I protect here queen c8 or queen c7, now f7 pawn is hanging and bishop b7 is hanging. So here he plays knight e5, both are hanging. If I take bishop g2, then queen f7 check will be, so I have problem. If no, then bishop b7. So both are coming, I may have problems. So after queen b3 I could play queen b6, but like yeah, it would be okay for me. But I really wanted to enjoy this game. Like it's, I didn't play chess 3 years, and now I'm playing just 2-3 rounds left, and I will not play chess another few years. So I really wanted to have fun and wanted to keep the queens. So I just played bishop d5 with tempo opponent queen, and if he plays c4, then I will go back. Why this? Because I provoke opponent to play c4, and my bishop g7 now is opened. Opponent pawn is not on c3, so here my bishop is more or less blocked with these 2 pawns. After I play bishop d5, if c4, bishop c6, now bishop is open now. He played here queen a3, another dubious move, d6, just protecting the c5 pawn, so he played rook e1. Knight bd7, just developing pieces, knight bd2, short castle, e4, bishop c6. I developed all my pieces, everything is cool, my b pawn comes through to c5, opponent have just 1 pawn in the center, so I'm absolutely fine. Also on my control is this b half open line. Opponent has problem with bishop c1, because knight d2 cannot move, because knight d2 is protecting the e4 pawn. Queen is also very dubious position. Next move I may play some a5, a4, and then I will ask lots of questions to my opponent's queen on a3, like what are you doing there? Here he could play e5, trying to open the center, but it's very dangerous for my opponent, because I will take this too, and now yeah, looks like I may have some problem c5, but opponent king on g2 is very open, and he has not finished his development in the queen side, So it's cool for me. I could go something like knight g4. If rook moves somewhere, then even queen d5 check. Knight coming to e5. White will have problem with light squares. Knight can also move to d3, rook b8, put pressure on this b2 pawn. Lots of things are coming. And if you take my pawns, then queen d3. Queen is very active. Queen e2 now is coming next move. The opponent has problems here, so I thought I had very good initiative. Opponent here thought a lot and played queen a6. Queen a6 attacking my bishop on c6, and here I thought a lot. Because it looked like queen b6 is the best move, but I really didn't want to change the queens. And if I play queen c7, then I didn't understand what is my next move. Because after queen b6, if it changed, okay, endgame. But if it doesn't change, my queen will stay on b7 very cool, putting a big pressure on this e4 pawn. And knight on d2 cannot move because I will take e4. Also, he cannot play e5 because I will take. And if knight e5, I will just take the bishop on g2. So at the end I decided, okay, I don't want to change the queens, but okay, queen b6 is fine, because if you take, this is very bad endgame for my opponent. b6 pawn come to c5, a7 pawn come to b6. Now I have a half open line, a line. Next I can play b5, knight b6, knight a4, rook b8, b4, some Benko style, but without in Benko style you are without a pawn. Here I have not sacrificed any pawn, so what would be fine endgame for me, better endgame. So I decided then to play queen b6, and yeah, queen b6 and ab6 is better endgame for me, but really I was praying that it doesn't change the queen, so we have some fun. And yeah, he played queen e2, queen b7 back. And now my opponent has problem how to continue this development of these three pieces. Knight d2 is protecting the e4 pawn, bishop c1 cannot move if the knight is on d2, so what to do? e5 also is not possible. Without knowing what to do, my opponent went knight h4, trying to go knight h4, some f4 to get something, because if you just wait, I will just put a5, a4, rook b8 with very cool position, putting big pressure on b line. He played knight h4. So here my bishop g7, it's okay, but it's closed. It's closed with my own knight. So here is TV concept is coming, which I have explained in the previous videos. So knight b6, knight d7, opening the bishop on g7, not allowing opponent to play f4, e5, because after knight d7, my bishop g7 and knight d7, I am two my pieces are are controlling the e5 square, and my knight on b6 can do lots of good job. He can play a5, a4, and can stay on a4, even putting pressure here. So knight b6 is good move. f4, knight d7 idea. Knight hf3 played, trying maybe some e5, I was not sure. And here I played e6, but I was also thinking about e5 immediately. It looked like I'm closing my bishop on g7, but it's just temporary, because opponent has a weak pawns here, and I'm here making very weak pawn for my opponent, e4 pawn. Because now if you play f5, I'll just take and play d5 with very powerful center. Now next e4, d4 is coming, and he will not have time for attack. But e5, and if you take here f5, then knight e5, next move rook e8, and e4 pawn is very weak. But I didn't play e5 because of f5. I didn't like this f5 move. And after g5, it doesn't take e5, but he plays knight h4. And if I take here, he plays knight f5, next move queen g4 is coming, so g7 will hang. So knight d6 is hanging, something I didn't like here. So I decided to play e6, sorry, because if you play e5 and next move is coming, e5, e6. So I decided to play to stop e6 first. And here he played h4, dubious move, and here he got e5. So I played e6, e5, and my opponent now has big problems, because if here f5, gf5, no more knight h4 move magic. And if e5, same d5, e4, d4, these pawns are just going there. So big advantage here I would have. e5, and now e4 pawn is becoming very weak, rook e8 is coming. Opponent has lots of problems in the queen side, and now he is starting to have problems in the center. And when the queen side pieces are not developed, the center will be collapsed. So e5 here, I have already big advantage. I took f5, and knight e5, next move is coming rook e8, putting pressure on b3, on e4 pawn. He played here knight b3, trying somewhere to go knight a5, attacking here on my queen and bishop. So to take one of them, probably bishop, but just a5, not allowing knight a5 first, second a5, a4 is coming, and maybe somewhere also a3. And he took knight e5, bishop e5, bishop f4. Now, of course, I don't want to take bishop f4, gf4, so his pawn structure will be not so good, but okay, more or less okay. I have also a weak pawn on d6. Instead of that, just queen e7. Now, if bishop e5, I will take queen e5. And if not, I want to take bishop f4, and then h4 pawn will hang. So, for example, knight d2, I just take, and h4 pawn is weak. So that's why e6 and e5 was so cool here. e6, h4, e5. Also, now he cannot play f e5, knight e5, take and play knight f3. Oops. Why I cannot go back? Okay, so knight f3 cannot go back, because if the pawn was on h2, this would be possible. But with pawn on h4, I just take this g3 pawn, and I am a pawn up. Well, let's go to game. Knight e5, knight b3, a5, knight e5, bishop e5, bishop f4. So my queen already did a good job here. He did his job. Now it's time to come to the center and put also problem on g3 pawn. Bishop e5, he took queen e5, king h2, protecting the g3 pawn. But now a4. The idea is if knight d2, a3. We are crushing the pawn structure. c3 will hang, b2 will hang. If ba3, I can take. If ba3, I can take queen c3. I can take rook a3. So position is very bad. Also king is very open. If I take rook a3, rook c3, g3 will also hang. So I will take queen g3 too. So lots of problems for my opponent. Instead of that, he played here knight c1, trying after a3. To go some knight d3 and maybe e5, changing this weak pawn and opening bishop, changing some pieces. But knight c1 here, knight c1 move has one problem. I just play c4. So limiting the knight on c1, not allowing knight d3 move. Bishop g2 is very limited too because of... sorry guys, because of his own pawn on e4. So now with this c4 I limited two opponent pieces. Pawn structure is very interesting. Looks like I have two weak pawns, c4 and d6. Opponent has e4 weak pawn. Okay, I will make some red. e4 weak pawn and b2 weak pawn, because very often after rook b8, knight will move somewhere and I want to take the b2 pawn. But in real, it's not just opponent has two weakness. b2 is his one weakness, e4 is his second weakness, g3 is also weakness, and king on h2 is also weakness. Very often you will see I am bringing my knight and checking and making problem for my opponent. And it's not the worst for my opponent. Also, he cannot very good normally bring the knight on e2, knight e2, knight d4, because queen should move. But whether goes is queen f2 or e3, yeah, with tempo attacking my knight on b6, here having another problem. He played queen f2, attacking my knight on b6, but knight on b6 also did his job, so knight d7. Knight is going here whether c5, attacking the e4 pawn, and if knight is on e2, knight d3, attacking here everything. Or most biggest problem for my opponent, knight is going to f6, and knight g4 check is coming, and after that opponent will lose the queen. That's the problem after c4. A queen should move in order to bring the knight, but whenever queen is going f2 or going to e3, then knight d7, knight f6, knight g4 is coming, and also e4 pawn I want to take. Now black has a big advantage. Queen f2 was played, knight d7, knight e2, knight f6, and now opponent loses a pawn. I want to play knight g4, take opponent queen, I want to take the e4 pawn, so b2 pawn is also very weak. Position is already lost for white. Queen f4 he played, bishop e4, I just took the pawn, knight d4, queen f4, gf4, and we came to endgame. Here I had lots of choice where to go. I could just play d5 in order after bishop b4 to take knight e4, then rook b8, rook b6, rook b8, putting pressure on b2, or rook b8 playing a3, changing these two pawns. After that c3 will hang and also a2 will hang. I have super knight on e4, opponent king is very weak, so just pawn up and strategically winning position. Not just even if the opponent had in this position some pawn on g3, I would still have better position. But now I'm just pawn up with so strategically winning position. But I decided to go concrete way. I played bishop g2. king g2, knight d5. I thought my knight on d5 is very powerful, attacking the f4, protecting from rook e7, and also somewhere I want to play a3, and if b3 I take the c3 pawn. So this is also very cool, it's very absolutely winning. f5 my opponent played. Again, I had many choices. I could play rook fb8, I could play a3, b3, I could take knight c3, I could take rook a3. So I am here pawn up, but soon taking the second pawn, then I will take third pawn, so winning position. I decided to go rook fb8, backing the b2 pawn. He cannot play rook e2 because of knight f4 check, and I am a winning exchange. And after rook ab1 I decided to go just rook b6, and after rook ab8 I want to take the second pawn, because rook e2 here is impossible because of check and take. After king f3, rook ab8, rook e2 again is impossible, trying to protect, but now this pin is working, so I just take here knight c3 and winning exchange, because after bc3, rook b1, I won exchange and win the game. So rook ab8, absolutely winning position. Rook d1 was played. Now I could take rook b2. He plays knight c6, attacking the d5 knight. Also attacking the rook on b8. But here I have knight c3 move, taking opponent pawn, attacking the d1 rook. If take, I take here knight d1, rook b8. So 2 pawn up rook endgame, absolutely winning it. So I could go here too. After rook d6 he should play here instead of knight b8, some rook d6, again winning position. I could just move somewhere, maybe rook f8, then take a2, c3, c2, c1, again winning it. But I decided, okay, not give any chance to my opponent. I just played knight f6. I want to go d5, then take this b2 pawn. Also maybe knight e4 will play close this rook 2. So it's cool, it's good. Rook e7. Now I played d5, but really I could just take this pawn. And if knight c6, attacking my rook on b8, and also rook d6 now is coming, just rook b5. And if you take, now my 2 rooks knight is checkmating my opponent. And additionally I'm 2 pawn up, yeah. So finish 0-1. Instead of that, I went d5, opponent played knight c2, rook b2, knight b4. And he did very nice maneuver, knight comes to b4, so closing my rooks. Knight protects the a2 pawn and also attacks the d5 pawn. Very cool maneuver by my opponent. Here I played rook a8. But probably just I should play rook b5, protect the second pawn, so 2 pawn up, winning position. I played rook a8, fg6, hg6, and knight d5. And I thought that, okay, this rook endgame should be winning for me. I just took knight d5, it was 40 move. And after knight d5 I had additional 30 minutes, it means I have around here 40 minutes. But after knight d5, rook d5, here I realized it's not very easy. So I'm pawn up rook endgame, but it's very unclear. Okay, what I mean unclear? I am still winning or drawing. Yeah, it's not complicated position. But before definitely I could win much easier than here. Here I spent lots of time. At first I was thinking about rook a2. But now I want to go a3, move the rook, and a2, a1. But I'm having problem with king, because if I give f7 pawn, then check, it will be perpetual check with these rooks. If I go rook a1, king g2, like rook a1, so if rook f7, I check and take this rook. If king, he play king g2, rook f8, rook a7. So if I go a4, a3, a2, still maybe winning. But what's then a4, a3, maybe somewhere I will change that pawn to this c3 pawn. Still lots of chances to win the position, but my rook on f8 is very passive. So here I decided just to go rook a5. With the idea, if rook d7 I check, so I protect with check the f7 pawn, and then I take a2. So instead of on f8, my rook here is on f6, which is very cool for me. But opponent here played h5, very cool move, very good defense. By the way, from moment when opponent played knight c2, knight b4 maneuver, opponent started to play very cool. I really felt his experience. He didn't resign, he didn't just play the move, yeah, he didn't resign mentally. He was fighting field end and he really made the draw. Check from this moment how good he is fighting and finding his chances. So h5 he want to take and open my king on the g8. And if I take gh5, the move which I wanted to do, I already prepare my hand. And I realized here he can play some rook f5. And now he want to take f7. So I'm missing really the g6 pawn. So g6 is doing important job for protecting the f5 square. And after gh5, rook f5, I also don't want to play f6. Now my king is very open. Some rook c5, rook c8 is coming. This was not what I wanted to play. So then I played rook a2, hg6, rook g6, but I am taking here and allowing opponent to play rook a5. I really wanted to keep my rook on a6, but after h5 I didn't find any other ways. From this position, I don't know where exactly I missed my winning after the tournament. Probably I will sit and analyze, but not now. I was very tired. So still having lots of chances to win, but it's not easy anymore. Because now I am allowing opponent to play rook a5, and somewhere he will take this pawn too. Now I played rook f6, check, king e3, rook d6. I thought I will check and take the third pawn. So really I'm taking that pawn, but there are some problems. The problems is that after king e4, now if I take rook c3, here is the problem. He plays here check and rook f5. King f7 pawn, and now he wants to give check and check and draw. And if I give him here rook e2 check, he don't go here, so I check and change the rooks. But he goes king d4. Take and draw. Yeah, unfortunately for me, after check, take, it looks like I have two pawns, but he plays here rook a5. Next move I lose this pawn and again draw. I played here rook e2 check, king f4, rook c3, rook a4. Now c4 pawn is hanging. The thing is, if I give this pawn place, let's say some move, yeah, and this position is draw, leader position with f7 pawn, it's a draw, so I should keep it. So rook ec2, but now my rooks are very passive. He played rook a8 check, king g7, rook a c8, and now I cannot move this rook because he just take it. And if I give a check, he just go king g4, and I should go back to protect the c4 pawn. Here I played rook c1, rook c5, here I put my pawn on c7, but the opponent is just waiting. And I really cannot improve my position. I cannot move the rook, he will take the c3, and also I cannot go with king because of lots of check. Okay, this is 50 move, we played another 50 moves, but I could not win in this position. It's the end part, it's not very interesting. So I will not go here all the stuff because the video will also be 1 hour, you will get bored. So I will stop here. It's already draw probably. Well, it was very interesting moment. If you play this line, takeaway of this game is if you want to play with c5, you should play here c5 without bishop g7, short castle, immediately here c5. So if c3, you have b6 and bishop g2, bishop b7. Cool. Now we are having two fianchetto bishops, so everything is very good for us. Here opponent played very dubious, and I slowly after move by move my position become better until I won. But then when his position was already absolutely lost, my opponent made a really made a great SLP from this position. SLP, saving lost position. We had webinars and streams on this topic in ChessMood family, in ChessMood website events. So here he did very cool job. f5 from this f5 and take h5, opening my king on g8. Also, I was impressed by his king f3, rook a b8, knight rook bd1. This maneuver, he put some problems for me. I had lots of options here. If rook b2, knight c6, knight c3, to go here, or to play knight f6 and d5, knight e4, to play knight f6, then rook b2, and here also he did very nice maneuver, knight c2, knight c2, knight b4, and here knight protects the a2, attacks the d5, was not easy. Then probably the easiest way for me to win, it would be just take the pawn immediately. So 2 pawn up, not allowing knight c2, knight b4 maneuver, and if knight c6, attacking my rook on b8, just rook b5, so rook is coming from here, 2 rooks, knight is attacking the king on f3, I'm also 2 pawn up, so absolutely winning position. But okay, yeah, I couldn't win another absolutely winning position. It's okay, I didn't play chess a long time, so it's fine. Whenever it's something like this happening with you, you didn't win the winning position, don't be disappointed, don't tell yourself bad words like what an idiot I am. I see so many players, they are saying this. They didn't couldn't win the winning position, or they drew positions. What the idiot I am, why I should play chess, I should stop to play chess. Very disappointed and very nervous, and next games they are again losing. Yeah, keep the right mood. Whatever is happening, it's your game. Okay, so with everybody happen, even with Carlsen happen. Sometimes he could not win the winning position. With everybody happen. So it's your game. It's fine. Just learn what was wrong, why you couldn't win, and solve the problem. Just that, yeah. And especially if you are in the middle of the tournament, yeah, keep the right mood because you have many other rounds. It's already third absolutely winning position I couldn't convert to win. If I just gave up, I would lose all of them. But I'm still continuing playing chess, the same you should do. Whenever you had some bad results, you had winning position but you drew, or even worse, keep the right mood and continue the tournament. That happens with everyone. So you see, even with Grandmasters, I have a 2 pawn endgame, and somehow with some magic I could not win. That's it. So, Dima Vadik was with you. Hope, especially the ending part, not getting disappointed of you, keeping the right mood. I think it should be very useful, and you should try to implement in your chess career. Take care. See you tomorrow.